what's on? Today I am going to take you guys around another one of my somewhat local walks. We'll be walking around a place called Stepper Point, which is just around the corner from Padstow. We could actually see the headland in my last video. Should take maybe hour and a half, 2 hours at a push. I'll try and pop up on the screen whereabouts parking is for this place. In the summer, one of the fields that we will be walking through in just a moment opens up for a big car park. That is the paid option. If you can manage to find a spot somewhere along this road, that's the free option. Bit chilly today, if I'm honest with you. Wore shorts and I don't know if that was the smartest decision, but I guess that's more reason for me to move around, get my legs warm. So in my last video, we were able to look down the mouth of the Camel Estuary. Today we're kind of going to be walking around the mouth of the Camel Estuary. Oh yeah, it's cold today. I can tell you that for free. It is beautiful though. Yeah, just up here on the right, you can see that white sign. We'll be walking down there. Here we are. That view down there is stunning as well. We're going to be walking down a bit of a track through these trees. Yeah, through the woodland after here. And then after that we'll be onto the coast path that heads around the beach, which is just down there. There's a few people out today, which is nice to see. We are in the woodland, we're not walking down there. We are going through more of this bogginess. They've saved this track in recent years. It got extremely boggy. You can see the water right there. Yeah, it would get horrendous trying to walk down here a couple of years ago. Very, very small woodland, but very lovely to walk through. Right, I am going to fork off to the left to go up to the coast path. If I was to go down this way to the right, that would bring you out on the beach. It is beautiful around here. Cool. Got a fly on my nose. That's great, that is. Those houses in the distance there, that is Polzeath / New Polzeath. Not quite there, but we're around that area on the last little walk we did. Okay. Alright, we made it. We made it. There's a ton of flies there. Oh yeah, that's one thing about me as well. I know that not everybody struggles with this. So, some of you may be like, what the fuck are you on about, mate? But I don't know if it's my blood or what it is, but flies, they love to swarm me when I'm out on the coast. I've had many occasions where I've been, yeah, just mid-hike, like 20-25k in, and then I just get swarmed and I've just got to leg it away from them all. Beautiful, look. We're going to be climbing up this, behind those houses there. All the way up and around. We'll have some lovely views. Hopefully I don't get caught out in the rain, and hopefully I don't run out of sunlight. Amazing. This is another one where the beach gets pretty massive when the tide's out. And the other side of the estuary, straight opposite, you've got Damer Bay, Bray Hill, and then that all moves down onto rock. There we go. There we go. Yeah. always feel weird walking through this bit here. It's just like right next to somebody's garden. Rest of While tea garden. For anyone who loves the cream tea. The views are coming out now. There we go. That's nuts, isn't it? Yeah, you can get a nice view down that estuary as well, which is pretty good. Luscious. Yeah, I'm curious if we'll get anything like it today, but quite often the air ambulance, they do a lot of training around these parts, whether that be like low altitude, landing on particular places and taking off again, or even the standard patrolling up and down the coast. Usually they'll come from Newquay, yeah, pretty much straight on the coast, and they'll patrol up and down. A lot of the time you'll get to witness some of the training they do, which can be quite interesting. Actually see how they all do it, practicing saving lives. Yeah, we are just climbing up a bit of a hill. Nothing too major. All the way up there. Where it gets to a bit of a slope again. Whew. Yeah, look at that, eh? Got about an hour until sunset. I'm just looking in the distance right now, and I can definitely see some rain clouds. I can see some rain falling as well. Oh, you can see it clear as day. Hopefully the zoom in will help you see it in the distance, those two large hills you see. One's called Rowtor, which is pretty standard. The other one's called Brown Bully. Don't ask me who named that. Just to the left of that you can see that rain cloud dropping it all down, and that's coming towards me as well right now. All that rain you can see hitting the water. I'm gonna have to try and get down and up as quick as I can, I think. On my last video we were walking around here at the end, Pentire Point, and we are currently about to walk around Stepper Point. It's just if this rain cloud wants to hold off for a few moments or not, because I got to get up and over there. But, and as you can hear, this is where I have to become one with the wind right now. That thing when you get a cold wind, oh, it makes your nose run like crazy. It's definitely not the skinniest trail ever. I've been on a lot more sketchy trails. Alright, we are coming up to Stepper Point. You see it up there behind me. Oh. And yeah, last one we were over there. That was pretty lovely, I'll tell you that. I might have to take shelter in this stack at the top of the hill. I'm just looking at that rain right now. It's going to be here any moment, really. I just want to beat these clouds up to the top of this hill. This hill is a ruthless one. A few big steps. The day I'm recording this, I had leg day in the gym. Maybe walking up that hill wasn't the smartest thing. Anyway, look at this. This is nuts. It's pretty sweet. Okay, I was saying earlier about, are we going to see some air ambulance? Doing some routine? We are indeed. There we go. Yeah. Sun and rain over Trevose Head. Let's go inside this. Whoa. It's pretty windy in here. but it will shelter me from the rain. Woo! It's not really heavy rain. It's just like there's a lot of light rain, but it's going to pass in a moment. All right, I think we have I mean, it's drizzling a little bit still, but it's fine. The worst of it's gone. Now I'm walking down that way. If we're lucky, we might actually get a good sunset today. God, I do just love the look of that. Look at that. Unbelievable. Like I was saying in my last video about shutting all the gates and such. Just up there at the very top. I'm gonna have to zoom in for that, but you can see a cow. Yeah, no matter what time of the year, there's always a couple of mooers around. I do love cows, they're pretty cool. They're just massive dogs, pretty much. That's what I think of them. They're so playful. They're so curious. I'm getting that straight up sea breeze coming onto me. Shorts was not really the greatest choice. My hairs are standing on end right now. If I was out on a big hike, giving it beans, I'd most definitely be a lot warmer. I'm looking forward to my hikes this winter. A lot of my hikes last winter were down on the Cornish coast, which is great, amazing, love it, love every part of it. But it would be pretty difficult to travel back to the car after the hike down there. So when it's cold and dark, it's just a bit like, it's cold, it's dark, it's going to take hours to get back. Whereas from what I can tell, where I'll be walking this winter is going to be fairly populated compared to Old Kerno. Travel back to the vehicle after I finish will be a breeze. We're going to be walking around this cove here, and then we're going to be going around up and over this end bit right below where the sun is. Very, very far down, very, very steep. Not one you want to get too close to on a windy day. I mean, even on the best of days, you don't really want to get too close to it. Here we are, all year round. Whoa, beaming through. When that sun came out, it did get considerably warmer for a second, and now it's just like peeped away behind a cloud again, and it's just, I can feel the cold all over again. I'm getting blinded by the sun right now. But it's warming me up a bit again, and I just know as soon as it goes behind a cloud one more time, I'm going to be back to feeling that sea breeze so much more. And once again, like always, slippiness and bogginess everywhere you go, no matter what. Cool, right at the bloody stye to get over as well. Oh. Small section of no wind. I'm embracing it as much as I can. I've got a feeling the clouds in the far distance may take the sunset away from us. The sun has disappeared behind the clouds in the distance. Not quite sunset yet, but I think that's probably it. At least we saw a nice amount of it though. We've currently gone around the whole headland, and in the far distance behind me, I'll zoom in again. On that corner there's a few parking spots which you can utilise if you wish to come down to this place. But yeah, we've still got a few nice views around that I'm going to show you quick before I get walking back, because now the sun has disappeared, it is just going to start getting cold and dark pretty quick as well. I don't know if the camera quite does that justice on how steep that is. In my last video I mentioned that we could see Trevose Head with the lighthouse, and then I also mentioned there's a few lovely beaches in between, probably about half, maybe just over half of Harland Bay. Then you follow the coastline round, and then you'll make your way to Trevone. Or again, if you could start over here in that same place, and then you could walk this way, up and over and around, follow it all the way up to the end, you'll get to Trevone. I'm gonna have to take you guys on another little stroll around there. Yeah, and as you can see, this path is quite literally on the edge here. I can imagine in a couple of years this edge will be gone. I ain't getting too close. Yeah, a bit too windy for my liking today. So you can get pretty rough on these rocks. It's quite nice to look at. Cool, yeah, look at that, eh? Right, we're gonna get going down this way. And if you can make out that miniature waterfall. Came down this way, gonna walk up this way. All right, I'm gonna carry on up this way, back to where I parked on that corner. There's loads more to see around here, not just what I've shown you in this video. Whoa, doing like little outros is weird, man. Very weird. All right, cheers for watching, I guess. I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.